under scrutiny since Lamar was playing on a basketball court on asphalt. And he's eligible for a huge long-term contract from the Ravens. Pro Football Talk called out Lamar writing. This isn't hard, and it shouldn't be controversial. No player closing in on $40 million or so per year should be taking these risks just for kicks. Setting aside the question of whether the Ravens would declare any mishap a non-football injury and not pay for his 2021 salary. The bigger issue here comes from the fact that his contract still isn't finalized. Okay, Pro Football Talk got an issue, but do you? Is it fair to criticize Lamar over this?
No, it's not fair to criticize Lamar over this. People don't respect the road travel. They just respect it when they jump on and jump in, usually in the back seat, sometimes in the trunk, and just get carried all the way to that success. This sounds like someone who's like, I have what's best for you. I have your best interests in mind, when you don't know what my best interests are. So in that road travel, it's just interesting to see how people can seem concerned. Okay, I love that. Stop there. Because when you start to criticize or condemn the road travel or what the road I will travel, that's when I have a problem. To get there, you got to respect how I got here. And how you get there, and it's funny, I've been in these situations before. You go back home, and I'm in the pros, and my boys want to race. I used to race them all the time, and I'm like, can't be that same dude, money on the line. But sometimes you get in that position where you're like, let me do what I've been doing, what got me here. And everyone wants to act like they're the doctor. Everyone wants to act like they know exact science on injury. When no one could tell Michael Crabtree when he just hurt himself in his Achilles in OTAs, Kelvin Benjamin, non-contact injury, Teddy Bridgewater, Deshaun Watson, Hunter Henry, I keep going. Well, there's no science to, hey, they were just out there practicing. What happened to him? No one even touched him. I have a list of those guys. I look at this situation like Pro Football Talk, everyone else. Hey, I'm looking out for your best interest, your money. But really, there's another thing at play, and I'll tell you that after this.
I like it. Now you got me waiting on your second lap, hanging on your words. I like it, I like it, I like it. Yes, fair to criticize Lamar Jackson, but particularly if you are a Ravens fan. And why? Because this one hits close to home. Sell, one of the greatest pass rushers of this generation, T-Sizzle. Terrell Suggs. Boy, he is a dude. Now, Ravens fans, remember, T-Sizzle tore his ACL, Terrell Suggs, tore his ACL in 2012 playing basketball. Mind you, 2012 was literally the prime of his career. Only once did Terrell Suggs have 4 double-digit sack seasons over 5 years. He did so in 2010, 2011, 2013, and 2014. The one year he didn't was in 2012. So if you're a Ravens fan, I could see you having a little PTSD. Your star player, because T-Sizzle was a star player on the team at that time. During the prime of his career, because that was the prime of his career statistically at that time, gets hurt on a basketball court. Now, Terrell Suggs, I can't even say he pales in comparison to Lamar Jackson, because if you're a Ravens fan, you wouldn't dare let me utter that. They're fairly equal, in all honesty, to what they've done for the Ravens. I see a Ravens fan saying, nah, Lamar Jackson, what are you doing, big dog? Learn the history of this organization, at least learn the history of the sport.
Well, it's not even that. See, here's my problem with it, other than my other layer, just responding to you, is the fact that they think that there's a science to injury. They think that, oh, my God, if you get hurt in practice, that's better than just getting hurt playing basketball. I'm going to tell you why it's not. Because if I'm hurt, I'm hurt. Don't try to now justify, well, I got hurt non-contact at practice, and that's better in the offseason than me going out there doing something that's going to get me not only physically ready, but mentally ready. Something about reminding yourself that it's just a game is actually something beautiful about what I saw there. When I used to go into these situations and they looked like a little compromising, it was reminding me of the road travel and reminding me of the road I must travel and reminding me that it's all a beautiful game. So I kind of respect where he's going there. But I know why they really criticize him, why they're pouring gas on this one, is because his mama's an agent. And everybody out there is trying to protect that status quo. Hey, as they say when they write these comments, wait a minute, this article is about Lamar Jackson playing football with his friends. No, it's not. It's about this guy not getting a contract yet, and he's going to get it with his mama and not allow us to share in that money. Y'all greedy. Y'all see through, too. Coming up, Giannis has been dominant, but he does not want to be compared to Michael Jordan. Okay. Well, we'll tell you if we like that. And that's next on Speak.
Win. He scored 41 points and is now second player with at least 40 and 10 in back-to-back finals games, joining Shaq back in 2000. Slick Rick back with us. Hopefully, Wi-Fi's fixed. Slick, what has Giannis proven in the finals so far, big dog?
Nice to America. Wi-Fi problem.
He's proved that he is ready to own and embrace his greatness for the first time. Now, that might sound a little touchy-feely, but let me explain. Bottom line is he's already demonstrated that he can lead this team in scoring. He's demonstrated that he can lead it in rebounding. He can lead it as a defensive player. But that doesn't make you a leader. And what I have seen in this series in particular, and more so in this series than I have in any of the previous ones, is that he is ready to lead by example and by voice. We've seen him now in the huddle. And I asked you guys off camera because I was curious from a player's standpoint. Sometimes guys do this for the camera. Sometimes they want to be perceived as a leader. And sometimes guys do it because it needs to be done and they're stepping into the role. He's demonstrated that he's willing to hold his teammates accountable. He's demonstrated that he will ask for the ball in need situations. He's demonstrated that he will get to the free throw line regardless of how well or poorly he's shooting them and say, I'm going to get them in foul trouble. I want to go to the free throw line. I am going to take my shot. He's demonstrated that he will take the mid-range shot when it's available. He is leading this team as a leader, not just in statistics. And that is the difference that I am seeing and I have been waiting to see. I saw glimpses of it during the regular season, which is why he was at the top of my MVP ballot this year for the first time. It's also why, in spite of all the numbers and Milwaukee's record, he was not my MVP the previous 2 years. Because it's not a matter of the numbers that you get. It's when and how you get them. And what he is doing in this series is getting them at the most important times and in the most important ways.
Slick, I co-sign everything that you said. And I started off this show by saying Giannis has proven everything. He's proven that he's in the conversation for the greatest player in the world. He's proven that he is clutch. He's proven that he can carry his team. I remind everyone, Giannis hyperextended his knee in the most gruesome of ways just 2 weeks ago and has come back and dominated in the manner of Shaquille O'Neal. Slick, you didn't catch the first time we had this conversation. For those viewers that may have missed it, I will reiterate. I compare Giannis to the Google phone and all the other star players to an iPhone. When you talk about a Google phone, you say, wait, Google makes cell phones? Yes, actually. Industry-leading cameras, excellent image quality any time of day, and actually a more efficient battery quality than the iPhone. However, because we're all used to the sleek shape of the iPhone and the way that the iPhone adapts with the iPod and the iPads and the MacBooks, we just are more comfortable with that. We're more comfortable with the turnaround fadeaway. We're more impressed by it at a minimum. We're more impressed by a step-back three-point shot, not realizing that 2 points is 2 points and an and one is the equivalent to a three-pointer if you make the free throw. That is what Giannis gives us. So while Giannis is not lesser talented than some of the all-stars and superstars, we appreciate him less than some of the all-stars and superstars because we don't gravitate towards the look of Giannis's scoring as opposed to the look of other superstars scoring.
Interesting. I'm going to push back a little bit on what you guys are saying because, look, Giannis deserves his flowers, but not the entire bouquet. Okay, not all dozen. Just give him 6. Because we got to remember that Giannis returning from injury, admirable in terms of what he's been able to do and produce. But his production was in 2 losses and then 1 blowout win. So let's look at what that really means. And I'm just going to say this in story form from one of the greatest orators of all time. And I like to call a friend, just because I see him all the time, even though we're not friends, Jay-Z. So let's talk about what Jay-Z said about friends and friendships. He said, you can't really tell who your friends are when you're both down in life, when you're both down on your luck. He also said you can't really tell because when one of you is up and one of you's down, because there's still going to be that tug-of-war of need. The one on the down needs the one on the up. He said you can tell who your real friends are when you both are up, when you both don't need each other. Ain't nothing you can call me about and you need it. Guess what? I can say the same about you. Why do I bring that up right now? Because we've always looked at Giannis as kind of like this up and down. Like he would get his, but they wouldn't get theirs, right? And now we see 1 game out of 3 where they're both up. He got his, and the team got theirs. But what's going to happen when Giannis gets into one of those Shaq games? before when Shaq couldn't hit his free throws, as Giannis can't hit his free throws, but he hit 66% from the series. What happens in one of those games when finally Monty Williams gets him into those inopportune spaces on the court, outside the paint, three-point line to say, hey, the great wall of Giannis has been built again?